All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. And on today's episode, we are going to do Q&A, something we haven't done for a couple weeks. So we're going to get into your questions as we're only 2 weeks away from the National. So hopefully some timely questions about the National there. But I think we want to start with what's on your mind. And I feel like every time we start this segment, Tyler always looks super focused. So I think it's only right we start with you, Ty. What is on your mind today?
Well, what's on my mind is that we got a lot of time together upcoming for the crew. I'm really looking forward to Thursday. At first, I was like, damn, we got a lot of travel going on. There's a lot happening in the world. But then I'm pumped to go Thursday. Then we're going to slide into Atlanta, see a lot of different people. Another thing that's on my mind is LeBron James, Topps Chrome. Really just trying to find its new kind of price. I'm seeing sales for $18K yesterday, 21.2, 16, 16.5, 20, all in the last couple days. I also saw that some Steph is popping back up, and so I'm fascinated with what's happening. I won't call it high end because I know that's more of a base life in your world, Rye. But just the overall collectibles market. We've gone through these kind of cycles, our cards dead, everything. But I mean, record sales through Golden, record sales on Heritage. It just feels like times are healthy at the moment, and we're heading into back-to-back big shows. I'm excited. I'm upset with myself because there was a Devin Booker purple 9.5 on eBay that I think was listed for $8. I made an offer at $6,500 the other night, and he relisted it for $15,000. And I wish I just took it because that card, as everyone knows, I'm really trying to acquire. So that's what's on my mind. If there's one thing I'm on the hunt for in Dallas, in Atlanta, at the National, it's Devin Booker purple prism. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. That's what's on my mind.
Lou?
I was excited about the PSA pricing for the National. It's $250 a card, up to $5,000 declared value, and then up to $10,000. It's $600. And after that, it scales up. Obviously, I will be interested to see how long that pricing survives at the show because I'm sure it is subject to change. And I also noticed that there's only a $50 upcharge for a 4-hour service, which was confusing to me because, like, if you're going to pay $250 at the end of the show, why wouldn't you pay $300 to get it in the next 4 hours? I couldn't.
Is that only available for that option, or is that available for that option, or just available for the end of day? I didn't even see that, so I didn't read a whole lot.
It says right here. Also, keep in mind that PSA is offering a special 4-hour express on-site service for an additional $50.
Crazy.
Express orders with more than 5 items are subject to additional fees.
Wait,
so that sounds like
me at National, $300, 4 hours.
That's what it seems like, unless I'm reading this wrong, right? Because it seems like
that would almost. It just doesn't it doesn't make sense.
So the thing is that it's under. Actually, I might be wrong about this now that I'm looking at it because it says on-site autograph authentication. So maybe it's the autograph stuff that they can do for 4 hours. That's possible.
Yeah,
that's possible. Either way, I think the two. So I wanted to ask you about the $250 for end of the show. Do you think that survives very long? I feel like that's going to be gone by the end of the day Wednesday.
That's pretty quick, right? If you're trying to get something express, that's
$250 is not bad.
No, I expected it to be double.
Someone asked me yesterday how many cards they think are going to be graded, and I went low, but I'm also not sure if it's low. So let me get your thought on how many cards they're going to grade in Chicago, so I can see where I was.
That price?
Sure. How many cards will they accept at that price? $250 or $600? And now you have to think about they have to get them done by the end of the show.
Starts Wednesday and Sunday.
Yeah, and they have to get done by the end of the show. So that means they're probably going to stop accepting by like Thursday, Friday.
2,000, 2,400?
2,400. I said 5,000.
Yeah, 2,400 would be crazy low, bro.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I guess you probably got
5,000
people
cards
working
by
at the
the weekend.
hotel. You probably got people
1,000 a
working.
day.
You tell me they can't get
250?
through 1,000 cards a day?
I think they can.
That seems low if you think about
I
it.
feel like after all they've been through, after all the logistics, all the planning, I mean, even zippers, like, listen,
What is going on?
PSA is ready.
But Lou, did you
I think
mention
10,000 cards? 10,000 cards.
you were reading something and I caught it? Did you mention that it says like express orders with more than 5 cards would be like?
No, that was the 4-hour thing.
Okay, I was like, if that would be interesting if they were charging more for like larger orders, that would keep order like volume down.
Well, so here's the interesting part, right? So you in a previous world, everyone and their mother would show up with a bunch of their base cards for 250, but they're not going to do that now, I don't think. So that in theory keeps the volume down.
If you're there Wednesday or Tuesday night, when because depending on when they start accepting them, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and you can get some. I mean, my thought is like, can you get it graded? And if you're one of the first people to drop it off, can you get it back and still do something with it before the show ends? Because if you can, you might be willing to take advantage of that. Like, I'm just thinking, let's say it's Wednesday at noon. The dealers are there. The official show hasn't started, but you can drop it off, right? Would it make sense for me to drop off something, maybe not a base card, but something that that would add value by grading it, that would allow me to get it back soon? Because you would assume the first batches aren't going to be that long. The first batches are going to be what?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, they should go fast. Yeah,
you would figure they wouldn't be very long. So, can you add yourself some value to the card and get it back where you can still sell it by the end of the show? There might be some things I might be willing to take a chance on if you told me I could get it in early.
If you're telling me that I can submit my LaMelo base Prism for $250 and I'm going to sell no, right, it's a serious thing. And I'm going to sell my PSA 10 for $500, is that worth it?
What's a 9 do?
PSA 9.
I mean, got to play the law of averages on that.
Totally. 100%.
You sub 6, $250 a card.
How is it possible that I can't find, like, there's just no volume of LaMelo moving? Is that what's happening?
Raw.
LaMelo Ball?
Yeah.
PSA9.
Keep talking. I'll
You
find
think PSA gets into grading video games?
Yeah, 100%.
They definitely will, right?
PSA 9, there's an offer accepted 275, so it's lower than 275. So if you get a PSA 9,
you'd lose
you get
money
crushed.
basically. Yeah. So like, if the rookie card costs you about $75, which is what they do in gradings, you have 325 and a 9. You'd have 325 in every card. So if you'd make $250 a card on 10s if you got 500 a piece for them. So if you could send in 6, 750 up versus 75 down, I mean, you'd make some money. You'd make about $525, I think, if the math is right. You'd lose 75 on the 9s. You'd make 250 on the 10s. That's plus 175. It should be 5 1/4. So like, but you'd have to get at least 50%.
So my point was, in theory, that means it's not worth it to do it, right? Like, for the most part. Do we agree on that?
I mean, if you scale that up and you're saying you can get 50%.
It went for 170. It sold for 175.
Oh, I thought it said 250.
No, it was offer accepted 275.
Oh, yeah, that's a much different conversation.
Right.
Yeah,
so now
you're down $150. So you'd only make $100 if you got 1.9 and 1.10.
Mm-hmm.
So for every pair, you'd make $100. Probably not worth the risk. But I think there will be things that make sense to sub at that price.
Totally.
And I think it will be I expected it to be higher. So there's definitely going to be a lot of interest in that at this show. For sure. For sure.
Yeah. What's on your mind, Ryan?
Um,
if you say the National, I'm gonna throw up.
That's definitely on my mind. I can't believe England blew it. And I can't believe Ohtani blew it. Like,
that was sad. Last night was great.
I mean, Jokic, shout out to him for not blowing it. But like, England should have won. Like, I was just like,
is that true? Should they have?
Yeah.
I didn't watch.
Yeah, I mean,
Sancho, Rashford, and Saka all.
What, did they play better?
They were the better team, but
they were
would. I mean, they blew it. So
that's why I don't know if this is like a hot take, penalty kicks to determine the winner of a championship like that is horrible.
They can't just keep playing forever though. Like that's
Yeah,
You're just fatigued.
No, they can't. The field is huge. I mean, we could talk about it endlessly. Like the manager blew it. He overthought the whole thing.
Yeah,
he
I don't
missed
know
a
why.
huge penalty kick in his career. So like this was his moment. And the
Saka
whole
shouldn't be
thing,
on the field right there, right?
It was the first time he ever took a professional penalty kick in his life.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Saka at the
19.
fifth spot. Put
And the
Grella. I mean,
whole
there's
country, they haven't won in 55 years, and they throw this man out there. The
Brother.
disrespect.
yeah, you could have put anybody.
Or
on.
the ultimate trust. If you like, there's another way to think of it is that they trusted him like immensely.
I know, but like
The pressure on that
you
kid.
gotta
At
let the
18.
man live a little.
I agree. It shouldn't have been him.
And then
But-
the two previous guys, Sancho and Rashford, he wasn't playing them all year. Like these are grown men that get paid like $100 million, like that have confidence and ego. He doesn't play them all tournament. All tournament,
Well,
they didn't
I don't
sniff
know.
the pitch. Like, and then they're supposed to go on and like they don't even have half a sweat going. They don't even have a heart rate.
I feel like if you get paid $100 million to play soccer, you got to come in and bury a fucking penalty kick, especially if you're Marcus Rashford.
But like,
Put it
there's,
in.
There's enough guys on the pitch that are already sweating. Like the upside is you make it great, keep moving. The downside is you miss it and you're dominating.
But I could understand
that's a good point,
Sancho
Ty.
and Rashford being chosen to take the kicks. I thought it was like
They
there
literally
was
brought
somebody
them on
better than
with
Saka at
15
5.
seconds to go.
What?
They literally said you're not
They
good
brought-
enough to play.
They brought him on for the PKs.
Yeah, which is
Make the kicks.
insane.
There's an argument to be made that you should make them if you're Marcus
Agreed.
Rashford.
Okay,
Agreed.
would you bring a goalkeeper off the bench in hockey that did not play all playoffs in Game 7 to be the goalie in a shootout?
If the goalie
Those
was
are
like
two different things.
Why?
yes,
Why?
and if
Why?
the goalie was Fleury, I probably would, or like someone like that. I probably or like Henrik, I would.
Okay, but Henrik's over the hill enough that he can't play all game.
Marcus Rashford's over the hill.
I guess. I guess.
That's what you just said.
I
didn't say
guess.
that.
No, I wanted.
Yeah, I'm with
But
Lou on this.
you
Like,
it?
no, listen, like Ty, I think I compare this more to basketball. There's 3
It's
seconds
both.
left, and Ray Allen's on the bench, and you need one shot. You're putting Ray Allen in the game.
Okay, how about this? What about if you had two 90% free throw shooters that have been playing all game long?
They're fatigued.
Put
Okay,
Ray
you're-
in
Allen.
Ray Allen.
No
Put in Ray Allen.
chance. Ray Allen's in the back rim. There's no,
No.
chance you're
No,
pulling
Ray
a
Allen's
90.
not hitting the back rim.
No, bro. He was by the book. Like if you watch the thing, the second the penalties start, they were cooked. He's like in his spreadsheet, like going crazy because he missed the kick when it mattered.
Ty's not a
most.
spreadsheet guy. Figured
Not
it out.
like in PKs, it's like, yo.
Yeah, you're not a big advanced metrics guy. It's understandable. That's a
Oh,
fair position to take.
No. I'm
not a Billy
I
Bean type guy.
respect advanced metrics. I don't think you can
Not
pick
that
and
much.
choose your advanced metrics spot. How about that?
That's fair. That's fair. I'm with you on that.
And I think that's what they got caught in. He
Understand. That
tried
makes
to
a lot
over
of,
advanced
I
metrics.
just figured out what you were talking about. I understand now.
That's my point.
And then
That's like when
Ohtani.
Aaron Boone's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm just gonna keep pitching the same guys over and over again because the numbers look good." It's like that.
You gotta come on. You gotta.
Yeah, Ohtani, devastating, huh?
Yeah, I mean, tough scene.
Yeah, I mean, started out terrible, and we're like all in the chat. We're like, "This is over. This is." I mean, he had like what 2 home runs a minute and a half in,
Yeah, he
And then
really
ties
stroked
it.
early. It was bad.
ties it.
That format stinks, by the way.
Yeah, I that's what we talked about in the shop. It's like you're like, yeah, he's the 1 seed playing Soto. I'm like, the seed. I'm like, I don't follow baseball enough. Why isn't it just a free for all?
It's stupid because the seeding is based on total home runs this season, and then it's like cheating because Soto's missed a bunch of times, so he's an 8 seed.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
It's so dumb. It should just be
It should
totals.
be literally like the top 4. Everyone goes in the top 4.
That's exactly what it
No,
is. The
agreed,
time limit thing is
100%.
cool, though. The time limit is cool.
yeah.
They need to do the time limit with the top 4, top 3, top 2, or whatever.
He's over complication of everything. It's
But we would be remiss if we did not mention that the National is only 2 weeks away.
it is 2 weeks away from today, and I'm pretty excited.
I mean, we started this at 5 weeks. And we're like,
I've
wow, that's a
been-
long time. That's over a month. And
I've
here
been
we
buying
are.
aggressively.
Have you? That's a good job.
Yeah.
That's a good job.
I need
I feel like I'm in a good spot. I feel like I got action. I feel like I got resources to acquire on site.
Mm-hmm.
D-book, the word on the street, not the word on the street. The facts of the matter are that A purple PSA 10 Prism sold last night for 20 grand.
This is the one you were talking about?
Are you
and his 101
serious?
Kaboom, did what? 22?
Did it do 22?
Yeah, 20. We have a friend who was looking for one. He was 22.1, I think is what it went for. 22.2.
The bases are going for like 11.
So with the National being 2 weeks away, what's the vibe going to be in Atlanta and Dallas?
Strong. I think strong. You're Why do you
I
think
went
it's just a lot of feeling?
So I went to Boston, and there was opportunity there, right? The question is like, are people looking to sell and have cash for the National, or are people looking to buy and have inventory for the National? And I think a little bit of both.
I think that'll be the indicator that I will be looking for when we're there, is if are people clearing out money or clearing out inventory to get money so they can be active there, or are they still holding? And I think that'll be a less than exciting sign for Chicago if people are still going to sit on stuff.
Generally speaking, will prices be higher? If you're a seller, are you pricing higher in Dallas or at the National?
Without this, wait, one more time.
If you're a seller, are you going to price it?
Yeah.
Are you going to price it more now, or like knowing you're going to take it to the National, or do you want to price it more at the National because it is the National?
I would probably price it more at the National.
More volume of buyers.
Yeah,
just
more people
just kind of people that are interested in being there. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Interesting.
Where there's an opportunity to undercut the market. Everyone's gonna be juicing like 25% over eBay. Gives great opportunity to sell some cards at good prices and make some good relationships.
I will be interested. I think the bigger thing for me is maybe not necessarily the amount of inventory, because I think if people are going to Dallas or going to Atlanta, they're going to be looking to make plays. But I'm more curious about the volume of people that are going to go, because I'm not sure I'm not sure there's going to be as many people that go.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly on
to Dallas and Atlanta.
Yeah, I think people are like, hey,
combo, right? Atlanta's cards and sneakers.
Yeah. I think there'll be people that are going to go. I mean, again, they're going to have a good amount of attendance. Mm-hmm. But 2 weeks before the National, I think there are people, like I know there are people that are like, hey, I'm just going to sit this out. I'm going to wait till the National. I'm not going to spend the extra money. Like, it's expensive to travel.
I think the good part about the Atlanta show is that I think there'll be good local foot traffic there.
Agreed.
So that's the variable for Atlanta. That's good. Dallas, I think the problem is there's been 5 of these now, and it'll be the usual people. And then people are heading excited for the National. So anyone who's going to travel to a show is going to travel to Chicago. They're not going to travel to Dallas.
Interesting.
Unless you're the Card Talk Pod Boys.
Correct.
Should we fire a little Q&A?
Let's do it.
I'm excited. I'm so pumped.
All right. So we have a ton of Q&A. Shout out to Jay for fielding some questions on IG. There is
12, we got a good amount.
12 pages of them.
Let's fire away. Should we the first question? How old are you guys? I can't tell if you're like 23 or 30.
It's a great question. I'm 45 in spirit.
The answer is yes. The answer to that question is yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
There's some questions on here.
KJ, here we go. We're just gonna fire away. KJS Sports World Plus. Why talk down on hockey but talk up F1?
Great question.
Oh, you're right. Great question. Viewers.
Great question. The number one reason for it is I like one more than the other one. The other answer is, like, all kidding aside, the other answer is that I think F1 is an emerging market, while I believe that hockey is more of a declining market.
Yep. But the Disney thing,
will matter.
Big, and Connor McDavid is matters. If he can just get on a squad that has juice, he matters.
It helps. Yeah. But regardless, I think F1 is an emerging. So like we always lean towards emerging things. That just is what excites us more.
Completely agree. And the world is becoming more global. That's why footy is coming to the US. More import. We're in a more The U.S. is in more, I think, import phase than export phase. And we're importing proper football. We're importing F1. I don't know if we're exporting hockey out to the world. This is actually a question, Rye, that I have I would like to know where this came from. Because this predates Card Talk days.
Oh, God.
This is from Gilly the Kid 23.
I thought you were going to ask this.
Why is getting a car wash a must? The people need to know. I have no... What's your little car wash thing? Please explain.
Dude, this has been going on for years. And
it's the weirdest joke ever.
I have no idea.
it's like I don't know how it started, but like I posted like in my story, like I'll just post random stuff in my story and I'm just like posting like at the car wash. And then somebody tagged me and I reposted it. And then somebody tagged me the next day and I reposted it. I'm like, yes, like I love keeping my car clean. I have like a car wash pass. So I love going to the car wash.
You have a car wash pass?
Yeah, it's like $32 a month.
That's the most Ryan Johnson thing I've
It's
ever
unlimited.
heard in my life.
So it's the best thing in the world. I love it. Like I literally in, out. Very
Are
nice.
those your guys?
How many times a month do you go to the car wash?
Not as many as you'd think.
Like 3?
No, more. 6 times.
6 times?
Absolutely. I like going to the car wash. It's great. This is the best. Like, seriously. It only takes 5 minutes, and it's on my way to
I
work.
haven't been to the car wash in 4 years.
Yeah, but you don't drive a car in the city. I drive it every day.
Oh, man. That's good
You don't drive a car. I drive it every day, and it's on
By
my
the
way
way-
to work.
By the way, I'm extremely pro car wash as well. I have a
You
car.
need a car wash deal, bro.
I have a car. I've gotten 6 car washes since like 2019.
No, yeah, definitely 6 a month.
All right,
sure.
where are you at on the interior? How often do they hit it with the vacuum?
Pretty consistently.
Every time.
No.
Do
A
you
lot.
do you allow people to like have things in your car?
Oh, yeah. My car goes like, it's not like perfectly clean all the time, but when it's like starting to get there, I'm like, yeah, we got to go.
Like you
Got
get
it. You're a
crumbs in
keep
the
it clean
seats?
guy.
Yeah, like I like keeping my car clean.
Okay.
Got it. But
Okay.
on the after fact, you don't be like, hey, you can't eat those McDonald's chicken nuggets in the
that's
shotgun.
silly. That's silly
Understood.
stuff.
Got it.
Those are the same people that like don't let you wear shoes in the house.
I'm not a big shoes in the house guy.
See,
So like
Me either.
no,
you
see,
don't wear shoes in the house, dude.
No, that doesn't bother me.
Put some
Very
socks on.
different.
You get all your outside shit all over the floor.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, but I'm not like
Or get house
playing in
shoes.
puddles or in like the mud.
you're going to the car wash?
Yeah, what does that have to do with
weird
anything?
things on the floor at the car wash? Now they're in your living room. All of a sudden
You
you're
have
in the
shoes
bedroom.
on. You have shoes on right now.
Absolutely,
Oh my!
Wow.
absolutely.
You record the show with shoes
Yeah, but
on?
like my shoes are clean. I keep my shoes clean.
I take my shoes off like when we record the podcast together. Like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even put on shoes for that.
Oh no,
Shoes?
shoes on.
What
All
about
the time.
hotel room? You rock
All the time.
Hotel room. Wow.
Yeah, all the time.
That is
Ryan,
weird.
it is from XASSAD.
Oh god.
Is DK Metcalf a good buy?
I mean, it depends on like, do you believe in the Seahawks? Metcalf stuff went up a lot, right? So he's got to replicate that success to typically demand, prices above what he's at now. Like his stuff's already pretty hot. Are you picking the Seahawks to win? Kyler's got some weapons. Kyler's got some, some guys around him now. The Rams got Stafford, right? So like, there's a lot of talent in that division. So if you're not picking them to win the playoffs, I mean, I think Metcalf's great. I think Metcalf's the top guy. What does he got to do to continue to go up in the market?
He's got to be Terrell Owens.
K Hutch 013. This is sweet. We talk about this a lot. We can keep it brief, but I got to give K Hutch love because he's going to come by. Going to the Dallas show this weekend for my first sports show. Advice?
I have to fix this cat. Hang on.
Zip. Advice? First show, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on like what you're trying to accomplish.
I'd say cover the ground, meet everyone, try and look at as much stuff as possible. Unless you are so confident, don't feel you need to make all your plays in the first hour. Like if you're going for a day, go in, link with people, catch vibes. If you want to buy a card, make sure you find it at another table to see what that secondary listing is.
Yeah, but also
back.
don't second guess yourself.
Don't second guess yourself, but I think people can go in there and first thing they see, boom, they buy, and then it's like, why am I here? So like there's value to spending time on.
95% of people who walk into a show for the first time like this person are going to buy one card the whole time they're there.
And if they're going to do it, I think if you do it in the first hour, then it's like, I'm just kind of hanging out, which is fine. But I think I've been a victim of overexcitement. Make a purchase, could have saved 15% if I just took 5 more minutes.
/ I don't actually want this card.
Correct.
Buyer's remorse.
No, for real.
Yeah, I saw the next thing I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah.
I like this one. So this is from Justin_Fields 5013. It says, with Acuna hurt for the season, should you buy on the dip and prepare for next season?
I'd wait a few weeks and then I would. Yeah.
We're not at the dip.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're in the wait and see phase still.
Yeah, wait till October.
Yeah, I'm thinking like August, September. It's gonna get pretty ugly for him.
Indian_Mamba 24. What was the card that got you started in this career? And do you still have that card?
It's not a career. For me. Mine was the women's soccer, right, Ty?
Yeah.
It was probably
It really was.
It was probably a Tobin Heath 2019 Donruss soccer auto.
Those were the days.
Was it 2019 or 2018? 2018 Donruss.
It was yeah, the World Cup autos. We were like, what? We found something?
Yeah, we nailed that.
That was amazing. Yeah, that. And then so my mini little quick story, when we went to National 2 years ago, I was like, why is no one talking about soccer cards? What's happening? What's going on? At the time, I think Ronaldo 9s were going for, Ronaldo 10s might have been sub 10K. There were plays happening. Then I'm like, Kylian Mbappe. I come across the sticker. I buy it for like $350 PSA 10 rookie sticker, $350.
For perspective, what's it worth now?
On the low end, 16.5, 17,000. Yeah. There's sales north of 20, and obviously
You didn't know that?
No, I don't follow like the sticker stuff.
Oh, that's an extremely rare card. Yeah.
So I buy it for like $350, and I'm like feeling good. But that's like, I'm like, I just spent $350 on this card. It's crazy. AJ Vaynerchuk pulls up on me. He's like, I'll give you $500 for it. I'm like, deal. Sell it off. Immediately the card starts going for like $1,300, $1,400. I'm like, I'm an idiot. Rebought the card at a much higher level. So that card is very significant to me.
You still have it?
I have a PSA 10. It's not the one that I sold to AJ though. So I made sure that I had it because I needed it in the collection for this exact reason, but not the original. And I paid I did not pay $350 for the one I have.
Yeah, so when I got into it, I was 8, 9 at local mall, ripping packs, pulling stuff, looking for Donnie Nicky, right? A guy that went to Ohio State, graduated from the same high school as I did. I remember pulling like a Brad Banks jersey card. Was a quarterback from Iowa that year. Do not still have it, but like once I saw jerseys and autos, I was absolutely hooked. So, yeah, that's what got me into it. But no, I don't still have anything from like really from that time period. Not a lot, at least.
Ryan R1_. You can only collect running backs and tight ends or wide receivers. Which do you choose and why?
Running backs and tight ends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Running backs and tight ends over wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
I'd rather buy autos, like any. You're talking any all time.
I believe, yeah.
I would much rather have Jim Brown, Peterson. Like I enjoy collecting like the running backs more than I do Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson. I like collecting a lot of those guys, but to me, I'm taking Peterson, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown.
Personal preference?
Yeah, 100%. Plus Gronk, Gonzalez, Witten, some of the tight ends.
Yeah, I just think wide receivers are like far more interesting. Like Randy, Jerry, T.O.
Yeah, but I also think in modern, if you're saying, hey, active, like upcoming guys, wide receivers are not guaranteed a touch. if you're starting running back,
is the most replaceable position in football.
I mean, we made Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the darling of the NFL.
that was a Donruss rated rookie for $50.
But seriously, like the
Agreed.
running backs are extremely replaceable.
Yeah, but wide receivers aren't guaranteed touches.
Yeah, I just think
DK Metcalf is.
I think wide receivers are way more like
culturally relevant.
Yeah, I would go with running backs and tight ends for sure.
It's a good question. I thought it was a fair question.
I like what Tyler's doing, where he doesn't have to answer any questions. He just asks them. I
answered the question. Wide receivers, no doubt about it. I'm trying to keep it moving. But what I was going to say is before we go off that, because I think his question might have been a little bit different slighted. Ryan, in your which do you think has a bigger long-term market?
Like, are you asking the same thing?
Same question, yeah. Because it sounded like preference. You liked it a little bit more.
Running backs.
You're more.
I believe in the running backs.
Yeah, and something I want to note is because we've had it now a couple different times of when you think about cards, when you think about this stuff, you're thinking about autos and patches, right? Like you very clearly shown to me that you just don't deal in base cards much nowadays.
It just depends on what it is, right? Like 1958 Topps Jim Brown rookie is like one of my favorite cards of all time. So yeah, I like that card. But yeah, if you're asking me, do I want a low pop Adrian Peterson Bowman Chrome rookie refractor or an Adrian Peterson SP Authentic patch auto, I'll always take the patch auto. Like it just does so much more for me than like the base rookie or the refractor. Again, there's some instances where it makes sense, right? Like, Drew Brees Bowman Chrome refractor, that's a really cool card. Like, sure, I might want that versus a, 7th year Bowman Sterling auto. I think there's kind of case by case. But to me, I typically go down that road when we're comparing value, right? So it's like, hey, this rookie card sells non-autoed, sells for $500. Okay, well, in my mind, what can I get of the same person for $500? And oftentimes I can show myself, hey, there's a much cooler patch auto or a 101 auto or something different for that same price. That's where my head will typically. That's
what I did with the Mahomes. That was literally my whole rationalization on the Mahomes. Base Prism was like $9K, and then the NT that I got was $10,500. It was like about the same thing.
Yep.
And it's just a much better card.
Do you, Rye, how much of a differing factor is on card versus sticker?
Depends on like the card, right? Like how cool is the pat? Like if it's just a sticker auto, not like a 101, not a game use patch, something like that doesn't typically do as much for me. It depends on like the other factors of the card, right? I definitely prefer on card auto for sure. Prefer on card auto, but on card auto, player worn jersey versus sticker auto, game used patch. I'll take the game used patch.
What do you think about ink? I think ink is the funniest thing that only card collectors care about, like red ink or blue ink or whatever.
Whatever makes the card look better.
It's so funny when people.
I'm an aesthetics kind of guy on that.
That's a big thing for baseball collectors.
Really?
Yeah, they think like red ink is a big deal.
I freaks with the red ink. I think, Gary did a couple different color ones when we did the Topps thing.
Yeah, we mixed a couple in.
So I have a question here that I think it's interesting. It's from Heck Tech. It says, once grading goes to AI in the future, big assumption, and tends get harder.
Not that big.
Really? All
Not
AI.
That big of an assumption.
Interesting. I'm surprised by that. Once grading goes to AI in the future and tends get harder, is it smart to buy them now?
It's smart to buy what now? AI graded cards now?
Tens. They're saying they're going to be less available in the future.
So really,
no, because everyone's going to want the AI.
Question.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to want the AI grade. Because once everyone figures out that's the right answer, that's what they're going to want.
Well, that's like when I think about AI grading, could a company come up today? If HGA came out and said we're doing AI grading, do you think all of a sudden people would care more about HGA grading? And
isn't that HGA's whole model?
What it's all AI grading?
I mean, I don't know if it's all AI grading. I'm not versed on HGA enough. I thought most of their grading was HGA or was AI.
Okay, so AI grading is here. Now, are people buying tens? Like, sure. It's just a hard question because I don't think people are just going to say, "Oh, the AI grading is more trustable" all of a sudden. Unless PSA comes out and says we're doing AI grading, then they need to have some form of like differentiator between these things.
Tyler,
They're not.
I think it's impossible if explained properly to the average collector. It's impossible for AI not to be the ideal situation.
But branding, like,
of course, that's a big piece of it as well. If PSA said we're doing AI grading, everyone want the AI graded PSA 10. Like, that's just a fact.
but would PSA do that? Because what would happen to the rest of their cards?
Yeah.
How about conspiracy brain? They want all the cards back so they can regrade them again.
I think there's a lot of graded cards out there.
That's tough.
But then wouldn't you? Okay, so let's
That's
say I have
incredibly fragile. Like if they came out and said, from this day forward, all cards that we grade are going through a completely different process than the one we've gone through. I think it.
But don't they
changes
do that anyway?
Like AI grading?
When they go from a grader to grader, isn't it the same thing in terms of like it's different?
Yeah, but that's the subjective nature, and they train them and all that. I just don't know what the pre-AI from PSA would look like.
I just don't know if PSA
his question
ever goes.
is, would they be worth more? That's his question. That's the question that just came in. If PSA said on January 1, 2022, every card that comes to our door is now AI graded, does that make the current 10s more valuable? You'd probably think no.
If PSA, again, I don't think that's going to happen. Where PSA is like 100% AI graded. If they did, yes, the current 10s are less valuable than the AI 10. It removes all subjectivity.
Why would they not do that?
I'm with Tyler where it just devalues every single current card PSA's ever graded if they go to all 100% AI grading.
But then wouldn't they say just send them back in?
That's just
well, what about like the Babe Ruth card that just sold for $5 million? That's really good for PSA. They're not going to be like, send it back in.
Yeah, we're going to give it a no. That's a whole different can of worms.
I just don't see it happening. That's why I say,
either.
can another company come up and like do that? I think what the AI thing is going to be like trimming, regrading.
Agreed.
So the thing is,
100%.
it's like you can't crack and resend.
Yes.
It's in the database. Like that's a great
happening too, for sure.
I just don't foresee a world where all of a sudden it's like no humans are involved in this grading process, at least from an established brand like PSA. They have too much value in everything that exists.
I don't know
it's a great functioning business right now.
Yeah, I think that's true. I guess it's maybe I have a weird reaction because to me it feels like it's an inevitable shift. And so you're just sitting there saying to yourself, all right, am I going to regrade my cards or not? And if your cards are naturally going to be worth less because they're not AI graded, wouldn't you just send them in?
Ty, let's get another question here real quick.
If you could only collect one player, who would it be? This is from @the Cardboard Collaborative. If you could only collect one player, who would it be?
Mine's Donnie Nicky, right? I've collected him since I was 9. Just kind of the story behind it. That would be mine. So not nearly as exciting.
I would probably go either Bregman or LeBron.
Ty?
No money. Like money not a factor. Like literally, I would probably pick Bregman or LeBron.
Yeah. Mbappe.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Mbappe.
So Ty, on that, who will win the World Cup next year? This is from Sports Card Apparel. World Cup predictions. Let's go.
Who will win the World Cup next year? Who will win the World Cup next year? I will say France.
That's a good, yeah.
France.
Yeah, I'll say
Lou,
France.
who are you picking?
Germany.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
Kai Havertz.
France is the easy one. That's one I would you would have to put up there.
It's like picking the Patriots.
Yeah, that's like picking LeBron. I'm gonna go England. England.
Yeah, that's the other pick. England's loaded.
Yeah.
Spain is sneaky.
Yeah,
Belgium
England.
has it's their last gasp or they're finished for life.
Argentina has no shot, right?
Yeah, they have a shot. They'll have a shot. Last gasp, Messi. They've built a nice little squad around them now. I mean, Italy is upset if you're Italian and you're listening to this. You're like, really, guys?
Another one from Sports Card Apparel is what's at the top of the 3 of your list for the national? I'm going to assume for acquisitions.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you could pick up 3 cards at the national, if you're like, hey, these are the 3 cards I could pick up, what would they be?
Devin Booker, Purple Prism. It's Devin Booker, Purple Prism. It's probably like a really cool Pulisic card ahead of what's coming there. And then honestly, I'd like if like a graded video game or 2. Some WADA stuff.
Lou, any immediate thoughts?
Yeah. LeBron sweet shots.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie?
Yeah.
Is that the white background joint that we were talking about?
It's the
What's
one
the
where he
sweet
signs
shot?
it on. He signs it on the.
It's on the
basketball.
ball.
Gotcha.
I think that's a cool card. And then I would do Lando Norris Dynasty.
Did you see Lando Norris got ran up on outside the Euro Cup final?
He got run up on like in
He got
a
robbed.
fashion.
He got
No
robbed getting into his
way.
McLaren. Yeah, they stole his watch.
That's so trash. He's the man, but that's devastating. Yeah. So Lando Dynasty. 1 of 1 watch. Good luck selling. No way. How did I not know about this? And then the last one would probably be. Altuve Bowman Chrome Autos.
Nice.
I'm like one of the cards on my list at this point, really like one of the cards I really want to get, like, and I'm gonna have to sell some good stuff to get it, but I want a 52 man of some grade. That's like really like the peak sports card. So being able to get one of those would be kind of like one of my grails. I'm with Tyler on some sort of really cool Pulisic. I've got a couple now, but like a really cool Pulisic is definitely on my list. Outside of that, man, I don't know. I would have to think about this. Jordan LeBron auto is going to be like, I've got autos of LeBron, autos of Jordan, but I don't think there's a ton of duals, triples. Like a duel of those two probably would be up there. Man, I don't know. I'd have to think about that third one in terms of like something unique, right? Like I like Lou's play about the dynasty auto, right? Something of somebody that doesn't have a ton of cards, like a 1 of 1 cut auto of somebody. Like back in the day, I used to own a Tupac Shakur 101 cut auto, like something super unique of somebody that doesn't have a lot of cards. Like something rare like that would be something like I would enjoy picking up. Very unique, something you're not going to see a lot of, and probably only 1 or 2 people in the entire show would have one.
You do a really good job at that. When I watch you at shows, you always come back with something that's like random but fire, and I'm like, where'd that one even come from?
Something like that.
Yeah. Ward Cards asks, most undervalued card / player in the hobby.
Under reward, is that the word you use?
Undervalued card / player.
Right.
It's tough. It's
a very hard question.
Yeah. It's
like most, I mean,
it's like a black hole of thought.
But those are the best kind.
Yeah.
So is it?
I mean, I guess you can argue that it's like McDavid or something like that.
I like McDavid.
As you guys were asking hockey earlier.
I think it's Steph Curry.
Steph Curry or Tom Brady.
Brady's the answer for me.
Steph Curry or Tom Brady. Those are the 2 answers.
Yeah.
I choose Brady.
Yeah.
Brady's career accomplishments compared to LeBron and Jordan, some of what those cards sell for, Brady's up there. But Tyler and I agree on this so much. Like Steph Curry's long-term popularity will far exceed 99.999% of all athletes. I think Steph Curry's popularity long-term is
I agree.
wild.
Yeah, I've actually, as an update to last week's conversation, I've definitely adjusted my opinion, and I think I would probably want a Steph over that Steph over anything.
I like that.
I've adjusted my opinion for sure. But yeah, the Brady auto situation is insane. The price of his autos compared to LeBron and MJ are
agreed
out of whack.
Yeah, I feel like I need to update that to what I'm looking for at the National.
Yeah, I think that is an interesting play. So one of the questions, because I want to kind of go away with a question because I want to ask Lou's opinion, but it's from Dunks Unlimited. It says, can we talk more about Ohtani, please? Ohtani or Herbert, both PSA 10. The first part of the question, let's talk about Ohtani. I've been very open. I'm not a baseball guy. It doesn't intrigue me really. Like we had a conversation in shop about it yesterday. Like what he's doing is wild and beyond fascinating.
Can I tell you guys how my brain works? And this is gonna help people understand me as a person, and people are gonna think I'm stupid for this. What I saw ESPN do with Ohtani yesterday annoyed me on a level that is hard for me to fully explain.
Was he like a demigod?
He might as well have been a fucking alien coming down to save the planet. The way they talk about this guy, that you would have thought the home run derby was over last night after he got eliminated. I think someone actually said it feels like the home run derby
like Soto won.
It was over. No. It wasn't even that Soto won. It was that Ohtani
the
won.
event ended. Yeah.
And he's batting first, and he's pitching, and like that part's cool, but it's like enough. Because I know what they're doing. Everyone knows what they're doing, and it's annoying.
But he did it.
He did do it. He's awesome.
There's just like
arguably
it's crazy. Batting first, pitching, leading the league in home runs, like wild.
Where does he sit as an actual statistical pitcher in the league this year?
Pretty good.
So Lou, does he have any shot to win MVP, batting record, or a home run race, like Cy Young? Like is
he's not going to win the Cy Young?
Multiple
Cy
things
Young's
possible.
Out.
He's not going to win the Cy Young.
MVP's probably out because Angels are trash, right?
But here's the thing: they're going to market him to the moon. So like, it wouldn't surprise me if he won MVP.
Leading the league in homers, so he could.
Leading the league in homers. He has an incredible batting average. He has a really good ERA. Not an incredible batting average, a really good batting average, a really good ERA. He's a really good player. He's extremely good.
He's going to be the talk of these shows.
100%. But then here's the other thing, right? Like we can't ignore the fact that he's been hurt a lot. So
pre this season though, yeah, he's been healthy through this season, right? Other than like the first
saying this season, he was hurt last year and all that stuff.
Yeah, like I remember his stuff going into that national, like when that Bowman Chrome Super Auto was pulled. Like Ohtani's stuff when he was a rookie was wild. Like think Zion pre-Zion,
super hot.
It was,
and then he got hurt and he was the injury prone guy. Agreed. That was the thing.
Yep, and then his stuff dipped a lot.
So, because everyone was like, oh wait, he actually hasn't done anything yet.
Sure.
So, I think he's extremely talented.
5 years from now, Soto, I would assume it's going to be like Soto, Vlad, Ohtani, Tatis, Acuna, face of baseball.
Tatis.
I would agree.
I think Tatis is an unbelievable player. He's so electric. He's really good defensively, which is like sneaky, and he's really good at bat. And I know that Ohtani is a thing. It feels a little flash in the panty, so we'll see what happens. That said, I'm a huge fan. I also was loving last night seeing Soto, Tatis, and Vlad Jr. just like buzzing around. That got me so fired up. The three of them just hanging is very interesting to me.
I gotta get there with baseball.
It's so I decided last night that sitting along the baseline for a home run derby is like a life event that I need to be there for. because it looks like the coolest thing of all time.
I just love footy so much.
I get it. I love baseball.
Here's a good question. It's from Javi1338. Have sports shows being every week hurt eBay comps? Question. And then it says
like
less
card shows.
Yes. And then less people buying on eBay? Question mark.
Definitely not less people buying on eBay. That's
Agreed.
Few fish in a massive pond.
yeah.
Huge.
That's the classic. You have a little in-person interaction, and then you think that applies to the world, and that's not how it works.
You meet one person, they have a take, and you think that the rest of the internet feels the same way.
Yep.
You're like, oh, this card sold at the show for XYZ, so eBay's wrong. It's like, no.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that go to those shows. There are a lot of people that will be at the National. It won't be a tenth of the amount of people that collect cards.
I saw a sign on eBay yesterday that said, like, don't ask me about comps. And, like, that's cute, but, like, how else are we supposed to determine how much something costs? It's like saying when you go to a card dealer, like, don't ask me about the Kelly Blue Book. Like, what do you mean?
What matters more?
Great.
Yeah, like,
You say they're great.
From Brian_15L. What matters more, pop or gem rate?
Gem rate. I think gem rate matters a lot more.
I think
Pop can be exploited.
I think it starts with pop, though. Because does gem rate matter on Luka-based Prism?
I think it starts with gem rate, then goes to pop.
Correct.
Because if there's 5,000 graded, only one's a 10, the gem rate is going to play a bigger role than the pop, right?
But if
Because
there's 15 graded and 8 of them are 7s,
then pop matters. I'm going to go. I would go with gem rate on this.
Could go
How
with
hard is it?
The old both.
It's a little bit of both, but I think pop rate can be exploited. Gem rate cannot be exploited. Wait, I take it back. It can. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. Makes you think.
Yeah, they're both factors in the equation.
I hate thinking.
It's like work-life balance. You need a little bit of everything.
More life.
Sports card sharks. Will you be going for quantity or quality at the National? I can't decide what to do.
Quality.
Both.
Yeah.
I'm all for opportunity. If it's $5,000 $5 cards and there's an opportunity, there's a play to be made.
You are.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm not a person who has the time.
Agreed. 100%.
Or interest to do that.
Yep.
So I have to go quality. I used to think, I just broke my phone. I used to think that it was quantity, but I think it's quality for me.
How about the double up play, though? I feel like that's something I've kind of picked up over the years. It's just like if you believe in something and you can snag
buy two of it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
If you believe in something wholeheartedly, buy 3. One when it peaks, one when when it goes up a little bit more, and the third one you can just sit and let it appreciate.
Yep.
And
then if it goes the other way and you need to dump one, like right when you see the sign.
I know that's something Lou has always talked about. We've talked about that on so many episodes. Lou's just the one that's always brought it up. Like, believes in something and never ended up buying 1 or 2 of them. And I just remember Lou talking all about it. So anytime that I believe in something, I'm all for it. I
think we're about to get out of Q&A. I wanted to bring up something about long-term investments. And this is like obviously a very extreme example, but I think it applies. And I think it's something to think about. Did you guys see the PSA 10 mantle? Is that All-Star weekend?
Yeah.
The one that had like a presidential valet service delivery?
Yeah, it's that one. Number 1, it has that little diamond sticker on it. Kind of silly. But number 2, I believe that guy bought it in 1996 for a couple $1,000. And it's now worth upwards of $20 million.
Good for you.
So I would like people to keep that in mind. $160K.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot less than that.
Even so.
10x
is 1.6 then, right?
So
I would like for people to consider the fact that when we're talking about these rare cards, we're talking about guys like I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton. He's not to the level of Mickey Mantle, but that's what type of thing I'm talking about. We're talking about greats in all these sports. All of these opportunities still exist when you consider the macro game of cards, collectibles, investing. So I just wanted to bring that up.
last question. So the question was more so about Dallas, but what do you think? I'm going to adjust it. What do you think will be popular or the most in demand at the National?
Card or sport or
Yes.
Baseball.
Yeah, I think football.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks and all-time guys.
I do think baseball will be sneaky.
Really?
I think there's some interest in baseball that exists.
Well, I just think generally also it's the biggest. Like there's more people there off the back of baseball than the rest.
I also think soccer will be a play. I was in Boston and there were a lot of people asking about soccer. A lot of people. I'm not saying it's one on top of my list or that it's the best buy in the world. Just I was in Boston for 2 days for that show, and there were a lot of people asking about soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Appreciate
everybody that submitted questions. But before we go, latest launch. It's actually a decent week this week. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. You got Chronicles Racing, Donruss Elite Football, Gypsy Queen Baseball, Topps Museum Baseball, Archives Signature Series Retired Player Edition, and Topps U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Team and Hopefuls.
So that's interesting. Olympic hopefuls. So there could be guys in this who's not in the Olympics, or guys and girls in it this year that are not in the Olympics that are in the next Olympics. That's sneaky. Could be a sneaky.
A lot of baseball.
Elite football, typically the first product with pro jerseys. Something on people's radar, especially as we're getting close to the National. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields in their pro jerseys. How will that affect card prices at the National? What are people going to be looking for? Will that hurt the college stuff going into the shows? You got Dallas, Atlanta, and Chicago in the next 2 weeks. Something
I might go deep on Zach Wilson.
I will not be doing that.
You
bought a lot of Mac Jones, right?
No, brother.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
No.
Tough
now
scene.
watch, he'll come out and succeed in that Patriot system, right? I mean,
Probably not.
Probably.
Kind of got a dopey coach.
More wins than the Jets, though, for sure.
I think I have a good sign off
saying
for us. From
What, Ty?
Carta, I have a good sign off. From Carta_Maglia. Is Ryan the new footy specialist on the show? ? Calling Italy like a boss.
That's not true.
I didn't pick Italy. I picked England. Lou picked Italy. Lou picked Italy. I picked England versus Italy. I was the only one that picked the correct matchup. But shout out to Jay for jinxing it and posting it early, saying I'm unbelievable at picks, and then England loses.
Good work, Jay.
Jay almost got a full episode of no slander, and here we are.
I knew we had to end it somehow. See you, gang.
See you guys.
Peace.